Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Tampa Bay Arts Passport podcast, and welcome to 2026. Yay! If you're still writing 2025 on your paper, it's okay, we all are, but you'll get there eventually. Today, I am talking with Samantha Marti Parisi, who I have known for 6 years now because it's 2026. And I'm excited to talk with her today. We are talking about a new project that we are both working on together called The Pink Unicorn, as well as her journey as a mother and an actress. And so I'm really excited for you to get to hear her experiences and her journey. Thank you so much for listening and watching and tuning in, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, Samantha. How are you?
I'm just fine. How are you?
I'm great. Are you excited to be here?
I'm very excited.
What
to
if you
be
had said no? You're like, actually...
Actually, I've been dreading this, actually. No.
Because I feel like that question puts someone on the spot so much. Like,
Right. It's like when Grandma says, "Didn't you just love that gift I sent you?"
and you're like,
Yes, I absolutely did.
Yes.
Yes.
So, fun fact, I talked to my grandma yesterday.
How's she doing?
She's great.
Excellent.
And she was like, I want to mail you your birthday card. And I, like, move around, and I don't really, like, have a great mailing address at the moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, how about just send me a picture of the birthday card? And she was like, I love that idea. So she sent me a picture of my birthday card.
Okay, funny story. So, there would be so many cards that I would want to send my sisters, usually from like the shoebox line, that I couldn't decide. And so I would end up doing that very same thing. I would just send them
Picture.
photographs. Okay, these are all the cards I would buy for you this year.
Oh my gosh. But we're not here to talk about
No.
Christmas cards and birthday cards, although I wish we could.
Yeah.
We can talk about anything we want to
We
talk
can
about.
talk about everything.
But we're going to talk about The Pink Unicorn
I know.
today. The Pink Unicorn is a show being produced by Storykeepers. Just so no one is confused, in full transparency, I'm on the board of Storykeepers. I am the founding co-programming chair. I'm directing this piece, and I think it's a beautiful piece. And when I was thinking about who could help bring this to life, I remembered our experience from 17 years ago. No, not that long ago. Sorry, 27 years ago. No, we did a show. When was it? 2020?
Yes, it was right after COVID.
Yeah.
Because we kind of started off in masks.
Yes, we did start off in masks. But yeah, we did a show together, and I was like, Samantha would be perfect for this role.
So sweet.
And so The Pink Unicorn, just to lay the groundwork, is a really heartwarming, touching, fulfilling story of a Texas religious conservative mother whose daughter comes out as genderqueer. Yep. And I view this show really as Trisha Lee's journey and her understanding and her just processing that, and in her starting to see community in a different way and starting to see people in a different way, and all of her traditional maybe viewpoints she's had start to be expanded a little bit.
Exactly.
And so we're doing this show in people's living rooms, people's houses, their backyards, and then in gallery and community spaces. I rambled a lot about that, so maybe let's just start. What are your thoughts as we go on this journey and embark on this project?
You approached me with this, and I fell in love with the script. Absolutely. Because it was unlike anything else I had read before. And the fact that it wasn't tied up in a neat little bow.
Yeah.
This mom was real and messy, and she says the things that any parent would say.
Yep.
That, she says it all, puts it all out there. I'm not perfect. I'm not comfortable with this. And we follow her on this journey. And I think she has these moments that I think every person, every parent, every person who who has a friend, has a partner, has a child who comes to them as gender queer would go through. And I love the fact that if we present this, maybe if we have some people who are like, well, I don't know anything about this, maybe that starts a conversation. Maybe that gets them asking the right questions. And when I said yes to this, I had just assumed, silly me, that Storykeepers had already had a couple shows under their belt.
Oh no, this is number one, everyone. You're the inaugural production. Wait, are you learning that in real time?
No, I learned that a couple days ago. So that's been weighing heavy on my heart.
Oh no, girl.
So I'm very honored, but it is a huge responsibility.
Yes.
So I thought before it was just like this story it's huge, and I just feel like that it's this lovely little gift that you've given me. But then to find out that it's also the very first one, and when I was growing up, unicorns were this huge thing, and my mom will tell you, my room was covered in unicorns, so it just seemed like this cosmic thing that this needed to happen. Yeah. So Trisha and I needed to come together.
Not to get too off topic, but no, I think about that this is like our first production, and we opened January 15th. It's our first performance, and January 15th will mark really like Storykeeper's birthday. Will be the inaugural show. Every year we will look back and say, this is when. We have done some cabarets, and I want to acknowledge that because those artists were amazing, but this is like our first real offering into the community. Yeah. I also, to get back to the show, because I don't want to talk about Storykeepers the whole time, I love this script because, like you said, it's so different than what we're used to. It's so vulnerable and real. And I don't like theater that preaches to you necessarily. I don't like theater that's trying to teach you. I think theater does teach you, and I think theater does move you. And that's what I love about this script is, as you said, I think it will spark some folks to think about things differently or to start conversations. But it is not Trisha Lee saying, this is how you need to act or this is how you need to think, right? It's her being like, this is just the journey I've experienced, and you then might take away some things from it, which I really love about it.
And the casual nature of how it's presented, and I mean that in both the way the story is told and the way that you're wanting it presented in people's houses, in backyards, and then in these smaller spaces. It is very just people sitting around having a conversation. And I can almost envision this like in Trisha's world, that this would be at a PTA planning event, at a church social or something. Trisha Lee, what's going on? What happened with, why is Jolene going by Joe? Whatever happened with that gay straight alliance? Whatever the question was, and you can just see that being the impetus to this whole conversation that happens for the next 80 to 90 minutes.
Yes, I really love to think this is Trisha Lee, like, kind of trauma dumping on you a little bit. You're like, oh, I haven't seen you in months. Like, what's going on? And she's like, girl, do I have a story? And, like, next thing you know, you're just engaging in this story with her for
the next Lee family reunion, and she's just like, oh.
She's like, do I have some things to share? Yes, exactly. Her mama would probably not be there, though.
No, I don't think so. No. I think she's going to be a little,
If you want to understand that reference, you probably should come see the show.
Definitely.
Okay, I want to ask, what were your thoughts when I texted you and was like, hi, friend, do you want to do a show in people's living rooms? Well, first I was like, do you want to do a one-woman show? Yeah. And then I was like, P.S., by the way, it's in living rooms. What were your initial thoughts and reaction to it? You can be unapologetic. You can be like, it was a crazy idea,
I'm never thinking it's a crazy idea because my former business partner, Stephen Bell, he was always thinking of unusual ways to unusual spaces, unusual ways to present theater. And I could, I have a folder on my drive of different ideas that he had. And at one point during the pandemic, he was thinking of doing like single audience member theater, where it just would have almost like a peep show theater, where
Oh.
people would have been on one side with, just an opening for them to see, and just enough for them to hear, but there would have been, no way for and then have the actor or actors on the other side doing a live
Yeah.
performance.
That's so fascinating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, those were the kinds of ideas that he was always toying with.
Okay.
And so I'm always open to the unusual. And after doing Molly Ivins,
Yes.
and it was done at a larger theater, but we were trying to preserve the space for the next show coming in. So we kind of just used the forward part of the stage. So it was very close to the audience. And I was just like, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after reading the script, I was like, oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
this will work. Now, of course, I haven't seen these spaces, but in my head, I'm like,
You're like,
yeah,
this should work.
this
Yeah.
will totally work. Yeah, sure.
No, and that's what. So when we talk about site-specific theater or theater that's not performed in a venue, I think sometimes that is the problem of you like almost think venue first because you're like, oh, I'd love to do a show there, but I think you really have to think about the show first and say, where should this story be told? And when I saw the show back in Denver when it was going through a development and a production out there, and then when I reread it, it was just like, oh, this is someone's house. This is someone's personal space. And that's when like living rooms were like, oh my gosh, we should totally do this in homes,
It's funny you say that because I was in London several years ago, and there was a live production of The Great Gatsby, and it was done inside a house where the audience moved throughout the different rooms. And depending on the room you were in, it changed how you were fed the information and the storyline you got. Maybe you only heard Daisy's point of view. Maybe and there was a little bit of interaction with the characters as well. But it was interesting the way that they kind of, you did not go to all the rooms. So except for a few scenes in the one room that was large enough to hold everyone, you did only saw a few scenes. Everyone only saw a few scenes together. So those are the kinds of things that would be like in my mind. Is that replicable? Is that something we could actually do here?
Yes. Well, that's what I love about just, I'm going to use, lack of a better word, experimental theater, just anything that's not on a proscenium, really, because it gets your mind going in such a way of like, ooh, how could we tell a different, and I think as producers and directors, if we can start to just look at stories from, it could be more than a box, we can really start to serve the story in a better way, I don't know, that's my 2 cents. I want to talk about for a second, this is a one-woman show. This is just you, and you just did a one-woman show. Is this something you're going to keep doing? Are you only going to do one-woman shows from now on? Or also just like, what is it like doing
a terrifying thought.
You're like, this is my brand now.
Yeah, this is just me. I did do Goddess of the Hunt at Lab.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And then I have been auditioning, but here's just the fact that I have to face is that you get to be a woman of a certain age, and your opportunities aren't as many out there. And so if I want to keep doing the acting side of theater, then maybe I do need to explore other opportunities. So in my spare time, I have, I'm a bit of a history nerd. And so I have been exploring women in history that their stories are being overlooked or just pushed to the rear. And a lot of these stories are ones that I thought that I knew about this particular story, and I'm like, wait, I didn't know about her contribution to this area. And it feels a little bit rebellious right now to be, as things are being
Sure.
erased and forgotten. And so I have been working on a series of scripts that I am calling Extraordinary Voices for a for smaller one woman shows to be presented for in unusual spaces, maybe in libraries, maybe in historical societies or museums, or for a seniors group that just needs some entertainment,
Yeah.
or a scouting troop or something like that. And it will be easy enough that I can take it on the road if I need to. So, authors, historical figures, but all important women. And some of them are local or have local ties, like Lois Lunsky, the author. But I did not know that the city of Miami was founded by a woman. I had
I had no idea.
no clue. And so I'm like, wait, what? So these wonderful stories that are just being pushed to the background. And I thought, oh, I love this idea of being able to just embody these women and expand it if I have the opportunity to, if there's AV to, have projections. But if not, I can have a few simple props and be able to just do these, because I'm like, after doing Molly and now after being Trisha Lee, 45 minutes, that's
That's no
nothing.
problem.
A
Yeah.
Q&A says, so, yeah, that'll be fine.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah.
What is it like for those that have never done a one person show? Just like I've often people say it's like flying, flying without a net under you, because with a regular show, you lose a spot, you have a partner, someone else to kind of help pick you up. And
Yeah.
in this, it is just you
It
on your
is.
own.
It is all you. Yes, it is definitely like the flying trapeze without a net. My biggest worry is my memory, and I constantly am. As we get older, we're just always. And I know that I can be forgetful, and I lose words or forget names. Always, we all do that. So, but you get into a groove when you're acting. I'm moving here, I'm saying this line, and I say it this way, and this person will say this thing. And when you're doing it by yourself, you might make those subtle adjustments, or you might find yourself changing something, and that can throw your whole rhythm off. And then you're suddenly like, huh, well, now where am I? And so I would build in these little cue spots around the stage that would just kind of bring me back, little touch points that I'd be like, okay, this is where I am, right? And I do it now. Some people do, my mother and grandmother do crossword puzzles and Sudokus and all that. Yeah, no, this, I don't ever want to get to the point that somebody has to say, maybe it's time for you to stop doing
No,
theater.
I don't think anyone will say that.
I'd like to make that choice myself, but I kind of do this as a mental practice. I'm just, I obviously, I also want to be doing it as long as I'm still good enough to do it, but that's, but yes, to be able to memorize something for, 90 minutes or 2 hours, and have all of that and be entertaining enough to
Sure,
hold.
to keep a story and a character alive.
Yeah.
And yeah. I want to ask, because I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but how did you get into theater?
My parents will tell you I have been acting since I was a small child. I believe my very first role was the Virgin Mary at the school Christmas play in preschool. I got back into acting when my kids were starting to be old enough to handle, you know, getting reheating dinner on their own, and I just needed something beyond being mom and PTA and being taxi driver and all that. And I thought I need a creative outlet again. And I saw that there was a production of My Sister Eileen at the Turpin Community Center, and so I thought, well, actually borrowed the script from the library, and there was a small part, and I thought, yeah, that's perfect. That's like right in my age range, and I went and I auditioned, and the director kept me, and I went up there and I read several times, and he stopped me before I left and said, I want to offer you this part, which was the lead role, like the Rosalind Russell role. And I was like, but I'm too old. And he goes, not knowing at this point that in community theater, age
is relative.
Age is very relative. And so I was like, okay. And I went back and told my husband, I was like, well, you know how I said I was just going to do, there'd be like one or two rehearsals a week.
Like, I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, basically. And I had, no clue what was involved, but it was big fun. And after that, they just couldn't get rid of me.
But so, like, didn't go to college for theater, didn't... was that always, like,
that was always in there.
Okay.
I did it, yeah. I went to college for theater, but just never carried it through. And I'm actually, now that I think about it, very glad that I didn't. I think in my mind's eye, I see a Samantha that, tried to make it big. And I think she would have been insufferable. It is so hard on your ego. And I just think that would have been so traumatic to the constant rejections and the things that they ask of you as a person to just completely...
Sure.
Tear yourself down and pull yourself back up again. And let's face it, I love my kids. They are my life. And I'm perfectly content to have had that whole experience. I threw myself into it. And so to be able to have done that and then be able to switch gears and to be able to throw myself into acting, that was perfect.
And I think sometimes you don't know the journey you're supposed to go on or how life is going to unfold. But at least for me, like, I look back, I'm like, nope, that's how it should have happened.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious. Funny as director and actor, like, we don't get to do this too often where it's like a press thing together. But I would love to know, what are you... And timing wise, we haven't fully dove into rehearsals yet, although this will come out when we're like ready to open, basically. Yeah. Are there any parts of the process that are scaring you right now? Like, what's like your hesitations? Because I have like, how are we going to solve those problems? But I would love to know from you, like, what are the things that are like, with doing a one-person show in people's homes, or just in general?
Not having a set stage, for a set space, the same space for every production. Yeah. So, like I had said with Molly, we had that space. Sure. And so I set it up and I knew where my things were and like those touch points. So we're going to have to bring those and set those up each time. Yeah. And so that's something that's I'm like, we're going to have to be a little creative. Yes. And you and I had discussed, okay, so maybe we do this and maybe we do that. And then also the shows that we have outdoors, that's going to be interesting because that poses a little bit of a costume change up, because if it's colder, we're going to have to adjust for that. And if it's warmer, we're going to have to adjust for that. Yeah. So we just, who knows what Trisha Lee is going to look like during that.
Who knows? No, but yeah, no, I kind of have the same like things that are keeping me up of like, okay, we're just going to have a set show. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to airdrop into these spaces that, like, we know, I know what they look like. I've been to them. And yet it's going to take a little bit of refining and tweaking right before we start, you know,
Yes.
like, and so I think it's going to be so joyful at the end of it of like, oh, we're going to encounter things we never thought of, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I'm like, oh, the audience is going to have different angles every single night, you know, like when we direct, we think about like creating that picture on the stage, and I'm like, for me, this is going to be more about the emotion and the story we're telling, because I can't really control exactly where you're sitting and how you're seeing it, you know.
The audience is as much a paid actor.
Truly. I mean, you should still buy your ticket,
Yeah, yes.
but yes, you are a paid actor in this journey.
They if you have a particular person
Yeah.
that is leaning
Leaning
in, or
in.
someone you see nodding, then you just going to be
Yeah.
naturally like,
Because you're going to be able to see other audience members during this, and you're going to be sitting on stools behind them, if you're on a couch, if you're, you know, all the
yeah,
different things.
all the things.
Yeah. And then to do it in the studio at 620 and the work gallery to kind
Yeah.
of bring it home and do it in a gallery space, I think will be really fun and exciting. What, as we start to wrap up, about Trisha Lee excites you in her story? Because I know you said like this is such a different script, but I would love to know like what is exciting you about Trisha Lee.
She has this. She is so down to earth, and she's an every woman. Unfortunately, I think the people who most need to see this story probably won't get a chance to.
They won't read the playbill and say, genderqueer child signing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and the marketing person inside me wants to find a way to soft pedal that, to be able to slip those into some spaces, but I think the pink unicorn might be a tip off, but neither here nor there. She has this wonderful story, and I want she's a bridge between where people are at and where I think every person could be if they would simply lead with curiosity. And it's an important story that needs to be out there. And what storytellers wants to do, this is exactly the right play for the right time. And I'm so honored to be able to do the show. And I wish more people could be able to see it. So get your tickets now.
I mean, there's only 12 seats a night, basically. I'm saying 12 to 15,
Yeah,
you know, because it's
so-
going to be a very limited experience.
Yeah.
I love that you used the word curiosity, because that's really what Story Keepers is leading with, is I think in our mission we say telling stories that are grounded in community, curiosity, and care. And I think those are three things that we definitely need right now. And so I'm glad that the curiosity is resonating for you. I am so thankful that we get to do this together. I'm so excited. Also, you know what thought this just dawned on me that is cracking me up? You do, not cracking me up, but just sticking with me. So you run Siren Media, which is marketing and publicity for many local theaters. This production has so many marketing people on it, between yourself, myself. On our board is two marketing professionals. The other day someone was like, we actually need more artists around here because it's just all these people that know how to sell something. So this is truly like all the marketing people are putting on a show together.
Yeah. So I'm redundant, and so I'm standing back and letting you all do. And
Oh no, please help us. Well, I'm excited to go on this journey with you. Thank you so much for coming on. We have rapid fire questions before you go. Are you
okay.
ready?
Okay.
Okay. First question. What does artistic community mean to you?
Artistic community is a group of talented people working together to improve their area and using their talents in collaboration. And whether that's visual arts or, they're writers, they're actors, whatever. And they're collaborating and they're all working together to uplift each other and using their resources and saying and asking the best of each other and expecting higher things from each other. And I think we are very blessed here in this area to have a wonderfully supportive artistic community that when you can reach out and say, hey, I need a little help with this project, and you will usually find someone who is right there to say, yes, I can lend a hand.
Yeah. I love what you said about asking the best of each other. I think that's really key and really important. And I think, yeah, when we can just show up to the table with our best of intentions and really with a helping hand, I think that's where true collaboration grows from. Okay, in one word, what is your hope for the Tampa Bay arts region?
Investment.
Ooh.
Yes. I hope that those in charge will see that our citizens, our children, our taxpayers deserve better. And our arts community has learned to do so much with so little. But they feed our community and they deserve to be nourished. And it would be so nice to have arts funding be something beyond a campaign buzzword and just make that a priority and say, okay, we are going to constantly provide real funding for our artistic community that they can count on.
I think that's gorgeous. Okay, and then lastly, fun question. If you could have dinner with any artist, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Just one. And since it can't be an Algonquin round table, I think I would go with Dame Maggie Smith.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I feel like she was existed during a time of great cultural change. And as an actor and as a woman, she made these very bold choices. And she was kind of non-traditional looking, but still she was able to conquer dramatic pieces and comedic pieces and the stage and the screen, big and small. And from every interview that I've ever seen about her, she just seems to be so grounded and have this
So grounded.
self-effacing wit. And I just felt like if I had dinner with her, she wouldn't make me feel like an utter fool. And she would meet me where I was and would answer my questions.
Oh my gosh. I think that's a great answer. Yeah, I go down a rabbit hole of watching Maggie Smith interviews all the time because she has just a natural charisma about her that you immediately, connect with. And I love those stories of her on the set of Harry Potter because all those kids are like, there's like a true legend standing next to me. And that she was so friendly and so kind. And
They had no idea when they first started.
Yep, exactly.
And the fact that when she got asked during an interview if she had watched any of her performances during Downton Abbey, and she said something about, no, I have. They gave me a box set of the DVDs. To her, she came on set, she did her job, and that was enough.
Yeah, she's like, I don't need to sit down and watch this. Okay, if you're having a dinner party with Maggie Smith, I'm going to come over and join, and I'll bring Diane Keaton.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be a fun dinner?
Oh, that would be fabulous.
Yeah. That's what I was like, oh, if I could bring someone to this party, it would be her.
Oh, can you imagine the two of them together?
Could you well, I can imagine the conversations we're having right now. Probably pretty fun. All right, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you also just for going on the Pink Unicorn journey with me and with Story Keepers. And I truly hope everyone comes out to see it and experience it and just really see theater presented in a different and new way. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be very exciting.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you loved that conversation as much as I did. I hope you come see the Pink Unicorn. I think it's going to be an experience unlike things that we've seen recently in the area. And so I hope you take a minute to try something new and experience it with us. Thank you for listening to this episode. Please continue to like, follow, subscribe, support, send your hate mail to Tampa Bay Arts Passport. Any engagement is great. We love it. Please join us for some of our upcoming book clubs or other events. You can follow us on Instagram or Facebook for all of that information. And I hope that you get out in 2026 and enjoy art and go to a museum or go to a movie or all the things that you can do in our wonderful area. All right. Thanks so much.